Hey folks, it's Tom the Frugal Prepper. I want to talk a little bit about finding parts as a mobile mechanic. It's honestly one of the most challenging things about this business is getting the parts, believe it or not, because when you work in a shop and you're all official, you can just call around and find who has the part and have them deliver it, and they'll put it on your account. But when you're a mobile guy, you gotta go pick up the part. And then if nobody has it in stock, or it's in stock in the next town that's 40 minutes away, you can wait till the next day, or they'll get it to that store. So yesterday I went online, I looked everywhere for a belt tensioner pulley for a Honda Civic, a 2010 Honda Civic. Like, it don't get much more common than that. Nobody has one. Like, O'Reilly's doesn't even list one. Napa probably has one, but they're never open at any time I can get there. And AutoZone shows that they have one, but ship to store is not available, or ship to home and getting it in the store is not available. It's not available. They have a part number listed, but it's not available. Like, why even list it if it's not available? And they all have the whole full belt tensioner assembly for $100 and some. But I just need the pulley. The tensioner's fine. And so AutoZone on the other side of town listed that they have one and had it in stock. I'm like, sweet. I drive over. I should have done an online order and reserved it, because by the time I got there, another guy had just come in and gotten it. So they had to get one and order it today. So I should have just said, can you have them put that to the store by my house? But I didn't. And so I had to drive clear over to that end of town. I was going to try to look at a Caravan while I was over there, but the customers are texting or calling me back, and I know where the van's at, but I'm not quite sure which apartment they live in, and I don't want to go start knocking on doors. Although I got a few customers in that same little building. But it's like leaking Freon, according to the oil change place. And every once in a while, some smoke comes out from under the hood. I don't know about that, but But anyway, I'm going to go back and have some dinner for a change, since I won't be out and about until midnight. Being a network engineer by day and a mechanic by night is kind of rough sometimes, especially when you got to take a half hour to run across town to get a part, or you wait on a part. So like what I did is I found one on Amazon, a belt tensioner pulley, free next day delivery. I went ahead and bought that, and then I got the one at AutoZone on order too, figuring I'll return whichever one doesn't come. And sure enough, Amazon sent me a thing like, your package is on the way, but there's been a delay. Freaking Amazon. So I'll just return that one when it comes. But luckily the one AutoZone did come. So I had to do a water pump on this Honda too. So I had to run out and get the special blue coolant during my lunch today. So I do that a lot too. I run and get parts and do things during my lunch hour. Just little things that I know I'm going to need that night, but I didn't have time on my lunch hour to run all the way across town to the store to get the pulley, and I think it didn't come in until like 3 o'clock anyway, so, because that's when they called me and said it was in. But I mean, I normally like buying stuff from Advance the most, because number one, there's a main hub store for Advance right near me, and they have most stuff in stock. The AutoZone by my house is a little branch store. It's a piece of crap. It's good for nothing. I don't even know why they have it there. And the same with the O'Reillys here. They don't carry stuff there. Like, they don't carry Super Seal for R134A systems there, but they carry it at the other store clear across town. It's just weird how they do that. Like, I guess what they consider a common part, I guess they have to look at how often that fails, how many of them they sell, but And like a water pump for this Honda is like $90. If it was for a GM 3.8, it'd be like $30. You have to think about that when you buy a car, is the cost of the parts, even aftermarket parts, on some types of cars are far more expensive than they are on a Chevy. I suppose it depends a lot on the commonality of the car, how many of them there are. But there's a lot of Honda Civics with 1.8s out there running around. You'd think they'd have a cheaper water pump than $90. But I'd use that 25% off coupon and $5 speed perks to save my customer a little money on it. That's the other thing about Advance. They always have the 25% off coupon. You can always use the speed perks. And they know me. Like, they know when I put an order in to get it pulled right away because Mr. Mulkey's coming to get it. and they the Advance people know me by name. So I don't give out my information to people at auto parts stores though. Like I really don't. I don't want those kind of customers usually. Those customers are already broke, and that's why they're trying to fix it themselves. And I don't want them calling me. And then you get into like you tell them the price, you do the work, and they can't pay, or I just don't want to deal with that. I like to deal with people that pay me. And if it's a regular customer and they're like, I'm a little short, can I pay you half next week? As long as we know that going up front, we'll talk. But I typically don't like to do payments. But there's some customers I absolutely would do that for. Oha Happy Gardener, I'd do that for him in a heartbeat, right? But other customers, no. Other customers, they can't afford an oil change. But now we got a motorcycle up here with this music blaring. Good Lord. Crazy. Anyway, I'm gonna go home, work on this Honda. But what do you guys do, the other mobile mechanics? What do you do about parts? Like, I try to keep some of the common stuff on hand. But, getting to used parts during the day, I can do during my lunch hour, quick run to the junkyard. But even that's kind of hard to do. But I like using cheap and used aftermarket parts, but trying to get the cars turned around is a bit challenging sometimes when you guys sitting in your driveway and you need parts before you can look at the next one. So, I've started doing a Google Calendar for all my service calls because I'm getting busy enough now that I'll forget one or two. So I just got everything organized, and I just put them in there in like hour chunks from about 5 o'clock through 10 o'clock every night. And a lot of times those stretch out. I don't tell people a specific time, but one call might take an hour and a half versus an hour or something. A lot of like diagnostics, a lot of no starts, a lot of electrical issues, no comms, that kind of stuff. I know I'm probably going to have that going in an hour. But other stuff like mechanical stuff, it takes time. Electrical is getting pretty second nature to me now. For 90% of the issues, I'm just like, got it. But there's still that 10% out there that can really throw you for a loop, and it might take you 5 hours to find the problem. But anyway, I'll talk to y'all later. It's Tom, Frugal Prepper.